Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and wow, I'm very pleased. This is the day that the patron reward swipe right has terminated, so not in the sense that you couldn't go to Patreon and play it, but you can't enter the competition anymore. Today was the closing deadline. But that gives me the chance to announce next month's hunt, which is by Blobs, and is a follow-up to his incredible Lord of the Rings hunt from June. I think that was our patron reward. And January the 1st, we'll see the release of Blobs's 19 puzzle follow-up to the Lord of the Rings hunt. And it's, again, if you remember the document for that one, if you joined us on Patreon for that, you will remember that it was a fantastic series of puzzles illustrated by one of the Lord of the Rings illustrators. Just awesome work, and Blobs has done it again. So we're going to be bringing this very special document to you on January the 1st, and giving you the chance to work your way through a series of puzzles, each of which has to be solved in turn to get digits for the next one. It's absolutely awesome. It is entirely based on the story of Lord of the Rings. I think you're going to love it. We've seen the document. It's absolutely top quality. Blobs himself called it his magnum opus, his great work, his masterpiece. So there we go. What more need I say? What more I need say is that today's puzzle is by Blobs. That is how I'm going to trail this. We're going to have a look at a puzzle he sent us to consider for the channel. So that's what I'm going to do today. I will look at that in a moment. So Patreon, definitely the place to go for all good things connected with Cracking the Cryptic and Sudoku. Simon has some long solves up there. I have crossword videos and connections. There is a crossword video this week as well. So loads going on Patreon all the time. We urge you to join us there. It is very, very good value, as are our apps, which feature Cryptic, Sudoku, Domino Sudoku it's called, if you want the Cryptic stuff, like in today's puzzle. And we also have Line Sudoku. We also have Fog of War Sudoku, and that is really good fun. That's our latest app. Do check out all the apps on the links under the video, or via the new website that George the Toad has created for us. You can review that at www.georgethetoad.co.uk. And there's a lot of links, and they are incredibly helpful. It's just unbelievably good. We're very grateful to George. Check that out. Now, there's also SVEN'S SUDOKU PAD and our merchandise. So do consider engaging with the channel in some way, or just comment on how poor my solving is, or whatever you like to comment on. Simon will be back with us recording live very shortly. Now, what else have we got? We've got this puzzle. So I'm going to do the rules of Bubblicious by Blobs. Look at all the bubbles floating around in the puzzle. Normal Sudoku rules apply. 1 to 9 will go in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. A digit in a circle indicates how many circles contain that digit. So if there was a 3 here, there would be 3 big circles in the puzzle with a 3 in. Maybe there and there as well. Digits separated by a white dot are consecutive, and digits do not repeat along the marked diagonal. Very simple rule set, counting circles, white dots, and a diagonal. No idea how this is going to play out. You can check the video length to get some idea. I am going to start now. Let's get cracking. Well, you can see that 16 of the circles are arranged in what one might call the Fistamafel ring. Now, I will very briefly, in case it matters, and it might, it probably will, explain to you how we know that these 16 cell digits are exactly the same as these 16. So I start by taking columns 1, 2, 8 and 9, which must be 4 sets of the digits 1 to 9. The same is true for rows 3 and 7. Each row contains a set of the digits. and boxes 4 and 6. Each box contains a set of the digits 1 to 9. So we know that in both blue and yellow we have exactly the same 1 to 9 4 times over. If we remove these 20 items from that grouping, bam, we have exactly the same left in blue as we have in yellow. That is the proof of the Fistmafell ring. And it may not matter in this puzzle, but on the other hand it may, so I'm making you aware of it. Now, count the circles, 16 in the Fistmafell ring, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 circles. So the thing we know about counting circles, which is a kind of new restriction that only appeared, I think, this year, maybe it was last year, is that the different numbers that can go in counting circles will now add up to 21. Because if you had, for instance, a 6 in there, that would take 6 of the circles and there'd be 15 left. If you had 5 in there, that would take 5 of the circles and there'd be another 10 left, etc. So 21 is a very interesting number. It's very tempting to me to imagine that the numbers contained in the circles will be the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which happen to add up to 21. And maybe what I need to think about is, can there be a 7 or bigger in the circles? Right, here's a good thing straight away. Those 3 circles are all on the diagonal, which can't have any repeats. So between those 3 circles, only once can any certain digit appear. Then there are 6 boxes left after that which have circles in. Box 5 doesn't. Now, let's guess that 7 was in a circle. So one of these 3 is a 7. Where are the other 7s going to be? There's going to be 1 in box 4 in one of those circles, 1 in box 8 in one of those. That's going to mean the 1 in box 9 would have to be there. The 1 in box 2 would have to be there. It is possible, isn't it? I was hoping to find a reason why either box... Is there a Fistmafell ring reason? No, I don't think there is, because they could go in those cells. Oh, hang on a moment though, because those purple and pink would both rule out that as having a potential. Yeah, okay, I don't think it can be done now to have a 7. We'd have these 4. We'd have 1 there or there. Oh no, it is possible. 1 there, and 1 in the corner. That would be 7. Okay, so 7 is a possible number in the circles. That's a shame. Oh, but hang on, there are 5 different numbers in circles just from any column like this. So, and the numbers can only be selected from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there are 5 different ones. So the numbers missing from the group add up to 6. No, add up to 7. That total is 28. So we're either missing a 7 or 2 digits that add to 7. I want to prove 7 is not on the line. I don't know how. No, I don't want to prove 7's not on the line. It's obviously on the line. I want to prove it's not in the circles. No, I don't know how. Right, I'm going to have to find something else to grab my interest, get me started, make a move in this puzzle. I suppose 8 and 9 can never be in circles. So if one starts thinking about where they go in box 2, they're in some of these cells. I don't know. Is that interesting? It doesn't really feel very interesting. Right, I'm going to try again with 7s. I might have missed something. We could have 4 7s around here. Let's look at it another way. Well, no, let's do it again with those previous colours and ideas that I was having before. So that could be 4 of the 7s. In fact, that's where they would have to be if the 7s were in circles. And then we would have either, it would be both of those and that one, or one of these trios and therefore that one and therefore the other trio. I don't know, it's very tempting to think, oh, what? No, hang on, what else would happen if you do put 7 in that trio and that trio? 7 appears in this group of cells. Oh, well, we would say it was in there, and that's actually perfectly reasonable. 6, 7, 8, 9, say. Yeah, I mean, there's something interesting going on here. Seven would appear twice in the Fistemafel boxes, twice in the ring at this point. If we were to put it 2 more times in the ring, then it goes there in the box, and then it can be, well, it would actually, no. Right, 7 could not be in that group of cells then, because it would have to be there on the diagonal, and here on the ring. But by the rule of, well, no, just by Sudoku, where does it go in this box now? Where would 7 go, given these possible locations? 7 have to be in the corner, but that would clash with that. So the other alternative may be possible with 7 there, 7 there, 7 not here but here. But still you've got the same problem about where does 7 go in this box. My goodness, and it would have to go in that corner again, and that would clash with that. So 7s are not in the circles, and that was worth pursuing. Therefore, these numbers in the circles are all 1 to 6. How can we highlight them? Right, let's go crazy with the pencil marks. Now, can we develop anything off the white dots somehow? Now, we can use the Fistemafel ring thing. Yes, because now we know that everything in the Fistemafel ring is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We know everything in these Fistemafel boxes that I highlighted at the start is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now look at the diagonal. I have got a sextuplet of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are 7, 8, 9. What a fabulous beginning. This is blobs all over, isn't it? Look, that's a 9, 8, 7 triple. What's on the white dot? It's got to be 6, and that makes that a 7, and we've got 2 digits in the puzzle. Now that 6 can come out of a bunch of circles. I am not afraid to do all the pencil marking in the world, as you know. Now, let's use some white dots somewhere if we possibly can. What about, okay, these 2. I was going to say they have to involve the 8, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's worth thinking about the circles again and the fact that 1 is only in 1 circle somewhere. Yeah, and 2 is only in 2, so it's going to be quite difficult to make up this ring, isn't it? surely every one of these runs of 5 must have a 1 or a 2 in. But we're only allowed a single 1 and 2 2s. I suppose if they were both 2s, we could make up the rest of the ring with 3, 4, 5, 6, and we'd still have 1 left over for somewhere else. Okay, I don't know what that means. Right, the white dots, let's try and use them. Actually, I can make these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can I find any more sextuplets now? Bother, the answer seems to be not really. Okay. Can that be not in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Only if it's a 7. That would then be a 6. Oh, well, we've got the issue, I suppose I haven't really thought about this, of 6, maybe 6 takes over from 7 as the difficult number to place in circles. But the trouble is, 7, I knew that there was only 1 there, so it was going to have to appear in all the other boxes. I'm not sure where 6 can't appear. Now, this is a great start, but I don't know quite what to do next. Well, this white dot can't be an 8-9 pair. So 9 isn't on this white dot. It's also not there in a white dot cell touching a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. So 9 is in one of these cells in box 6. If it was there, that's an 8. It's not quite enough to be going on with. This could be 7, 8. Obviously it doesn't involve a 6. That was a good thought, but it didn't quite pan out into a deduction, did it? This as well, it's very like this one. The only way it's not from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, thus completing a sextuplet there and in the column, is if it's a 7. Is there somewhere I am forced to complete a sextuplet? If I had a white dot digit that I had taken 6 out of. Oh, 6 had to be in one of these 3, didn't it? That was part of the rules. No, that was if it was 7 in the circles. Oh, bother. Oh, this is not 6. I mean, it's not a thrilling deduction, but it's not, because all of these come from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you put 6 there, one of those dots would have to be a 7. I can't say the same about that. So this is not a 6. Well, hang on, that is quite interesting. Because that now means that one of these 4 dots is a 6. Doesn't it? No, I tell you what it means. One of those 5 is a 6. And then there are only 5 boxes left, and 6 must appear in each of them. 5 boxes with bubbles in. Yes, that's right. Once that's not a 6, one of these maximum can be a 6, and one of them is a 6. And then one of these is a 6. One of these is a 6, and it's in those cells, so I can eliminate 6 from those. This is now the only place 6 can appear in box 9, and it does. And that gets rid of 6 out of a bunch of cells. 6 in box 6 is in one of those. 6 in box 3 is on the diagonal. One of those 2 is a 6. And that's not a 6 now, and also that on the diagonal is not a 6. 6 I've got in one of those 3, one of these 2 now. It's either in one of those and one of those and there, or it's there. 6. Right, but this is now either 5 or 7 on a white dot with a 6. If it was 5, that's a sextuplet. These don't have a 6 on now, and they can't both be from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, bother, I have to go and move my car. That is very annoying. I'd forgotten that. These can't both be from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or we would have too many. We have to fit 8 and 9 into this box. At least one of them goes on this white dot, so there is an 8 on it now. There is a 6th digit from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in one of those cells. Basically, whatever these 2 are now go into these cells. I will go and move the car in a second, then I'll come back to you. But I'm just getting quite excited. That domino punches its way into those cells, which include an 8, and into these cells, which include an 8. So whatever these 2 digits are, we're kind of tracking it round the grid into those 2, and those 2, by virtue of the eliminations. Right, I shall go and move the car, and then I'll be back to you. Hi, right, so why does my car have to be moved? Because it's not my car. My car's had to go back to the garage for a repair, and they've arranged a rental for me which doesn't have a parking permit, so I have to move it every few hours. It's so annoying. Anyway, I was moving these purple dominoes around the board and thinking I was finding some joy there, but I've really probably got to do more with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers. Now, let's go back, maybe, I don't know, to thinking about the 1s and 2s. Oh no, we got this 6. So there's a 6, yeah, there was going to be 1 6 in this group, and 1 here, and 1 here. That's 3. Now, there's going to be 1 in box 3 on the line. That's a 4th one. I took that out. That's dangerous. Don't know what I'm doing there. Yeah, okay, between box 3 and box 2, that's why you do get to take that out, actually, because there's 1 in row 1 and 1 in row 3. So those are 2 of them, 3, 4, 5. And then there's 1 in this box, and I don't know which it is. Maybe 6s aren't. Oh, here we go. Now I get to find out what is wrong with the car, perhaps. So, excuse me again. Well, now I'm getting as close to road rage as you'll see on a video, given that apparently they haven't even looked at the blooming car yet. Anyway, where was I in the fun stuff? I was trying to do 6s or something. Yes, I had various places highlighted for 6s. 8s and 9s. The other one out of 7, 8, 9 also gets pushed round the dominoes. That's quite strange. It must appear in that pair of cells, and then in that pair of cells, then in that one, and in that pair of cells. That feels like it could do something. No, I was going to think about the infrequency of 1s and 2s, especially in these circles. That's what I was going to think about. Right, we've established that 6 is either there or there on the line, on the diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We must have 1 or 2 in that group. We must have a 1 or 2 in that group. Now, we can't even have, it's all about, is it about the corners? Because you can't have 4 3s in these areas either, because there aren't 4 3s in circles. There are only 3 of them. But on the other hand, you could have 4, 5, 6 in each of these groups of circles. And then these would be from 1, 2, 3. Okay, the point I'm coming to is that at least in the whole ring, there must be at least 4 cells that are lower than 4. Even if it's these 4 corners. And those 4 cells could be a 1, 2 2s and a 3, or various combinations. I don't know how to use that. I'm really not getting this. There is another digit from 7, 8, 9 in one of those 2, and it's not there because it won't connect. So it's here, and it's 7 or 9. And it appears in one of these cells. Right, let's give that a colour. And it's in one of those 2 cells. I mean, this is what I was saying earlier. It's also in those dominoes. Now, one of these is a 9 or a 7, connecting to an even digit here that is not 6, and that is therefore 8. Does that do anything at all for me? It gives me an 8 X-wing that I didn't need because I already knew 8 was over there. It will, in one of these rows, give me a 9, 8, 7 triple that I'm not sure I know how to use. It does mean this is from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but it's not 6 because it's not in a circle. This now can't be 5 or 1, and actually it never could have been 1. I hadn't noticed that before. Right, I don't think this is doing anything annoyingly that forwards the progress on the puzzle. I can't see how it could be. It's interesting though that there is a 9 or a 7 in one of these, touching an 8 here. Yeah, so I was going to say, so 7 and 9 in this. Right, 7 and 9. Okay, there's an 8 there. There isn't a 7, and there isn't a 9 here, because there isn't an 8 there. So 7 and 9 in this box are in these 3 cells. Now, you could put 1 there next to an 8. You could put a 7 there next to a 6. But, well, could you really put 1 there next to an 8? Yeah, you definitely could. It is giving an X-wing on 9s, the fact that 7s and 9s are there, because there's a 9 in one of those 2. So 9 ends up in one of these cells. Oh, and this one is touching that. This is 8 or 9, because it's touching a cell that must be 8, well, 7, 8 or 9, and it's not 7 or 6. Oh, it's not 8, because I've just marked 8 up there. Wow, this digit is a 9. That's an 8. This is not an 8. Oh, if only that had been a 7 instead, I could have knocked this one out, and that would have forwarded the cause a bit. Okay, we get that that's an 8. Oh, this is on a white dot here. You muppet. That's been available forever. 7 and a 6 there. Right. So 7 and 8 are the purple cells. Every time. They are the purple cells. 7 and 8. 9 is the green cell. There. That's a 9. There's a 9 in one of those 2, touching an 8 there. There's a 9 in a green cell, and we now know it's there. There's a 9 in one of those 2. Now, 7 and 8, what's this? This is not allowed to be 6 or 7. This is 8 or 9. Yeah, white dots that reach out from these corners and here. That is, I was going to say 7, 8 or 9, but it could be 6. So I'm just going to play that a little cautiously. But this 6, has that done nothing else? We know there was a 6 there. I knew that before. We know there's a 6 in this column. I've always known that, it feels like. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it didn't advance us. Blast. Right, there's no 6 on this. It can't be a 9-8 pair. It could still be 7-8. That's not allowed to be 7. 7 is in this box in one of these cells. If it's there, it's joining with 8. And that's a 9, and they all get resolved. If it's there, it's joining with 6. And one of these is happening and is quite big in terms of doing the rest of the puzzle. I don't know which it is. 6 in column, no, in column 1. Actually, I just know that one of those is 6, so that doesn't tell me where it is in column 1. But I got this 9. I thought that was doing something. 7, 8, that one is touching this cell, which is 6, 7, 8, or 9. Can it be 6? It definitely can, I think. With a 7 there and an 8 there, that would make that an 8, 9 pair. You'd have 6, 7, 8, 9. This would be low. Oh, if that was a 6, surely we've got a 6 in box 2 in a circle. That's not a 6. So now one of these is 8, and that's not an 8, 9 pair. That is the 8, 9 pair that we were trying to find earlier. Okay, so what does that do? Let's just tidy up the marking. That's a 7 now. That's an 8. This is 7 or 9. And that is not a 7. One of these two is a 7. If that's a 9, that's going to be the 6, which has to be in a circle. That's how we got here. Oh, come on. 9, 8, 7. This is from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Does the fact... Yeah, it's the 6 is in a circle in that column, so that is not a 6. The 6 is in a circle in this box, so that is not a 6. And now I've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sextuplet in the box. This is going to have to be 7 touching a 6. And we found another one of the 6s in circles. And that's now not a 6. The 6 in a circle in box 3 is up in the corner, and that's not a 6. Now one of these two is a 6 in box 6. That's not a 6. The 6 in box in box 4 is forming an X-wing. Now, what about 7 here? Or 6 generally in row 2. I found it. It's there. That is on a white dot sequence that gives me a 3 in the corner. Oh, Christmas 3. Oh, Christmas 3. Those can't be 3, 4. That one can't be 6. That is 1, 2, or 5. Now, that's 1, 2, or 5. We've still got, well, we've got a 5 into a circle, and we've got 1, 2, 3 6s. So we need, oh yes, we're done on 6s. We can place that one. We're done on 6s apart from the X-wing in rows 4 and 6. 7 is placed in column 6 there. So that's a 5. And 5 comes out of all of these cells. Now, how am I going to get 5 5s into the circles? I've got 1. I can have 1 down here, that's 2. 1 here would be 3. 1 in box 2 would be a 4th, and that must be the 5th. That is a 5. Takes 5 out of these cells. One of those two was going to have to be a 5, and that's not a 5 now. I'm going to have to cough now. So many interruptions. Right, that's better. Sorry about yet another interruption. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Where were we? I don't know. 5s. Yeah, there's a 5. We've got 2 5s into the circles already. There's a 5 there and there. They're the ones we've got in. There's going to be 1 here, 1 in box 2 somewhere, and 1 in column 3, not there. In fact, I can rule 5 out of those cells, and out of the non-circle in box 2, right, what is going on in this box? Either 5 is on one of the white dots. Oh, it's not there. It's either here with 5, 4, 3, and then that is a 1 or a 2 in a circle. But if that's a 5, which is the alternative in box 3, that's a 1 or a 2 in a circle. So one of those is one of these rare beasts. Also, I've got a 1, 2 pair and a 3, 4 pair to account for in this row. So this couldn't be a 2, 3 pair over here. Is that interesting? No, probably not. Right, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5 is, where is 5 on the diagonal? Is that the only place for 5 on the diagonal now? That's extraordinary, but it does seem to be. Well, hang on. How do I know there's not a 5 here? Oh, because there's a 5 here. Yeah, it is. There we go. There's 5 on the diagonal. Because I had to get a 5 into that box and a 5 into that box. Okay, that does work. Now, it probably doesn't do anything, does it? I've still got 1, 2, 3, 4 on the diagonal. To avoid having 1 in a circle on the diagonal, that would have to be a 1. Oh, that 9 has sorted out 8 and 9 here. Maybe I should have kept the green colouring going. Should have thought about it a bit more anyway. 9 is now, well, 9 can't be there, so 9 is placed in box 6 as well, and that's going to resolve 8 and 7. I am going to get rid of the purple colouring now because that did the job that it was doing. And I'm more interested in colouring circle digits than high digits, I think, from now on, maybe apart from the 9. Ooh, one of those is a 9. Can that be an 8? Can one of these be an 8? Neither of those can be an 8. One of those is definitely an 8. If it's there, that's a 7. I don't know. There still seems to be value in seeking out high digits. 6 isn't. No, we know 6 is in a circle. Right. It is probably going to be about the circles from now on. That is 1, 2, 3, or 4. Oh, look in this column. We need an 8. That's very straightforward. Those are from 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe I should be starting to colour 1, 2, 3, 4s against each other. It just seems a bit desperate in a way. Is that the wrong word? Oh, 5. No, that's not a 5. Yeah, nothing going on there. Nothing to see here. Move on. 1, 2, 3, 4 in those cells. Now, one of these was going to contain a 1 or a 2. If it wasn't that, then there'd be a 1 or a 2 there. There'd be another one in those cells and another one in those cells. Right. If that, and then since this group of 5 needs a 1 or a 2 and that one does, if that is 1 or 2, then they're going to have to be in exactly these cells, the 1s and 2s. And that's interesting. If, on the other hand, that is a 1 or a 2, we've still got the problem that we're going to have to put... No, that's when it happens. If that's a 1 or a 2, those are 1 and 2. If that's a 1 or a 2, well, both of these strands need a... Well, both of these strands need a 1 or a 2. It's not quite as certain what happens if that's a 1 or a 2. I wonder what the genuine answer is. Okay, 5s maybe. Yes. No, 5 is probably... 5 is definitely one of those two. That's just Sudoku now. 5 is in one of these. If that goes 5, 4, 3, that's a 2, 1 pair. That's a 2, 1 pair. That's 5. That's 3, 4. Wow. So if that goes 5, 4, 3, those end up being a 1, 2 pair. And then we still need a 1 in the bottom row. Or a 1 or a 2 in the bottom row. In fact, it would then be a 2. Because that pair I've got highlighted would be a 1 and a 2. That's all based on this being a 5. Now, alternatively, that's a 5 and that is 1 or 2. That's a pair. Again, these can never be 1 or 2 because either that's a 5, which gives me a 4, 3 pair there, 1, 2 pair there, and 1, 2 pair there. These can never be 1 or 2. Or that's a 5 and that's a 1, 2 pair. So these can never be 1 or 2. They are from 3, 4, 5. I was going to say, and they include, but I don't know what the answer to that question is. To keep 1 or 2 out of that circle, this needs to be 1 or 2 in this row. If it's 1, this goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If it's 2, this goes 2, 3, 4, 1, 5. So that is 4 or a 1 in that case. Alternatively, it is 1 or a 2. It's not a 3. What a thrilling discovery. Oh, 3 isn't, it's not a 3 because 3 has to be on this sequence. Useless discovery. 1, 2, 3, 4 in this column. Now, can that be 1, 2, 3, or 4? If it was, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. That would be 7. That would be 8. This would now be a 7, 8 pair. And that could only work if that was 9. Ah, that's mad. Because it does work. It's very likely to be what's right, actually. So can I rule out this being a 7, 8 pair then? That would put 8 down here and 7 up here. This would be a 9, 7 pair, and that couldn't have any value. It's not allowed to be a 6, and we'd be ruling it out from being an 8. This is not a 7, 8 pair here. So the 7, 8 in the box do go there and there. That is now a 6. That is a 6. Right, that's something. This pair is from 1, 2, 3, 4. The 7, 8 in this row are there. That can only work with a 9 here because it can't be a 6. So that fills them in. Why I felt that was likely to be right was it sorted out this 7, 8 pair without having a deadly pattern. And that worked out. Okay, now 1, 2, 4. Now that is not a 9. This is. And that's all the 9s done now. This is from 1, 2, 4. 3 in this box is on the diagonal. So that's not a 3 now in the middle of the diagonal. That's even. Therefore, the 2 cells it's touching are odd, and they definitely include a 3. Now, this cannot be a 2, 3 pair because of this pair. Oh, this has become a 1-2 pair. So we've definitely got one of the low digits. Let's make them blue in circles. And earlier I worked out that one of those was a low digit in a circle based on where 5 was here. So that's 2 of them between those cells. The third has to be in this row. And that means none of these are really low. They're not 1 or 2. Now I've got a 3-4 pair here. Now that has to be 1 or 2. That is one of the low ones. And so is this, apparently. This is down to 1 or 2. Those are the 3 really low digits. 2 of them are 2s, and they're going to have to be in those cells so they don't see the 1. And that is all the low digits I can put in circles. Everything else in circles is not 1 or 2. In fact, let's think about, oh, that is not 1 or 2. That is a 5. And that's not. The 5 in this box is now here. 5, 4, 3. That's a 2. That's a 1. This is 1 or 2. In fact, we know which way round. They go very straightforward. Neither of these have a 5 in. I will be doing... That is the only place for 5 in the column somehow. Good. Good pencil marking. One of those is a 5. Now, how am I doing on 3s and 4s? I'm going to know what this is because... Am I? We've got 1, 3 and 4 there, 1, 3 and 4 there, 1, 3 and 4 there. Oh, it's these. Now they can't have a 4th 3 in, so that's a 4, 5 pair. And that becomes 3. That's 4. That's not 3. There is a 4 in those cells, so that's not 4. What have we got? 1, 2 and 3 to place in box 4. We've pencil marked everything. No 2s there. No 2 or 4 here. So this is odd, but it's also not allowed to be 3. That's a 1. That's a 2. That's not 1. This isn't 1 or 2 or 5. This is a 3, 4 pair. Those are the same digit. 1 can't sit in any of those cells. 2 can't sit in either of those. Come on, there's some sort of triple. That's not a 5. The 5 in the central box is there. That fixes 5, 4. There's lots of things that are not a 4 now. The 4 in box 7 is done. That's not a 4. One of those is a 4 in box 5, and that's a 3. Now that's 4, 3, 4. This is also not 3. One of those is a 3, so that's not. That's the only place for 3 in row 6. Got some 1, 2 pairs left. Oh, that's 3. That's 4, that's 1. That's the corner done. 2 and 1 there. That's going to sort out the 1, 2 pairs. What a puzzle. What an entertainment. Sorry about the interruptions. I hope they didn't interrupt your flow. Look, my time's over 2 hours now, given everything that I fitted in there. Brilliant puzzle. Very interesting. Thoroughly bubblicious. And a real teaser for the Lord of the Rings pack coming up. It's going to be fantastic. And we look forward to bringing that to you on January the 1st. Do join us on Patreon by then. Bye for now.